welcome to Relish Books. Today I'm talking about Three Men in a Boat by Jerome. I read this one on Kindle, so I don't have a physical copy to display. But this book is something else. I knew that it was like a humorous story. It's just kind of a short little book. It's meant to be nothing but funny. I didn't really realize how much it would be like that, I guess. I didn't know that much about it. But basically, it's just this narrator with his two friends and his dog, and they're going on a boating trip. And in the introduction or the preface, he talks a little bit about how this is based on real events. I don't know how strictly true the events are, but he really did go on this boating trip with his two friends. These guys actually existed. And they always refer to him as Jay, but I think it's just the author's name, So it's sort of a true story, probably with embellishment, obviously a lot of exaggeration for humor and exaggeration of their personalities. Hopefully these guys weren't really as awful as they are, because they're kind of terrible people for comedic effect. It is really funny. I enjoyed it. For me, I would have liked it a lot better if the narrator had stuck closer to their actual adventures, because the book is it's just his mind wanderings. They're going on their journey, but each chapter will begin. He'll tell a little bit about what they're doing that day or whatever, relate some story about their adventure. But most of the book, probably over 50%, is actually just him telling stories from his past, things he remembers, things his friend remember happening. Anything that suggests a different thought to their mind, like if they're going by and something makes them think of gravestones, he tells a story about that. They think about old furniture, and he tells a story about that. They think about woodwork, and he tells a story about that. Mostly the book is just a collection of funny stories as they pass through the main character's mind. And they are funny, they are interesting. It's on, like I said, a huge variety of topics, like everything you could ever think of. Since they're going down the river and he's commenting on stuff that they're passing, particularly on these little towns, you do get some kind of history and some geography of the Thames as they're going down it, of these little towns. He'll talk about, again, mostly humorous stories, like royalty who stayed in this town or that or whatever. But it isn't really for historical benefit, because most of them probably aren't true. They're kind of these legends just to be funny. But he talks a little bit about these different towns, gives them very fun and exaggerated descriptions. It's an interesting read. It was really frustrating. I figured out very quickly that was going to be the style, but for me it was really frustrating. Starting the chapter, I thought the three guys they're very annoying, very terrible, but they are really funny, and I would have just liked the book so much more if it had stuck with them and related their adventures. But every single chapter, that there's going to be a tiny snippet of their adventures mixed in with a dozen other completely random little stories. So it was fun. It was funny. It was kind of a bit much. The whole thing was humor, and very heavy-handed humor. Not stupid. It was, it's clever humor, but very obvious. And again, that's all it is. I really love funny books, but I want there to be a little something more in there, and there wasn't. This book is not deep in any sense at all. There's some good observations that he makes at times, but really just a book for amusement, for making people laugh, which is great. But I don't know. I guess maybe that wasn't completely what I was expecting. I guess I expected a little more from it, since I thought it was this classic, which it is, I guess. But really not very much to it other than humor. And humor is great. I love it, but a little rambly, a little all over the place, and a little heavy-handed for me, I think. So, I don't know. I would probably give it, 3 stars seems low. 4 stars seems too high. Probably 3.5-ish, something like that. Yeah, writing was pretty good. I probably wouldn't really be super interested to read more by the author. I think he has another book, at least one other book about another trip that they made. Yeah, if it was just about those guys, I think they are very funny, and I would definitely read a book that was just about their adventures, but there's too much other stuff in there for my taste. I can definitely see why people would love it, but just not 100% my thing. So, those are my thoughts on Three Men in a Boat. Not a ton of things to say about it because there wasn't a ton to it. I am finishing up, or I need to finish up, The Picture of Dorian Gray because book club is tomorrow. Even though it's a reread, I do not skim books. I really don't know how. I never really learned to do that. So I'm like, oh, I'm rereading it so I can like go through it really fast, just like refresh. But I can't. I have to like sit there and read it. And I really don't like it. I have commented so many times throughout my videos about how I don't like it. But I've never actually made a video on it. So after I finish it, after book club, I will probably make a video talking a little more in depth, my thoughts on The Picture of Dorian Gray. So I'm reading that and got a couple other things coming up, which I will talk about later. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.